Thank you, Vivek. I don't know how many of you noticed, but I woke up. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll get this. I don't know how many of you realized, but I woke up to a start light showed that they're not capturing Russia and Africa market. We got you covered there. At least our product is being used, which is basically ColdFusion for the most part. We have about, as I said, 400 global subscribers. And then one interesting fact, probably you all will be curious to know, is that Matt, we have about 400 million lines of code. Most of them are written in ColdFusion, I believe, and 110 ColdFusion developers on our roster as of today, and few of them are here. An application that other people can use it, because you have to create party checklists, and they were all using Excel, and then Microsoft didn't have a collaboration platform at the time. So guess what? We found ColdFusion, and he was never a programmer to begin with. So it was super easy for him to get started with ColdFusion, and 25 years later, here we are on stage with Adobe. The growth, and since Adobe has taken over, has been phenomenal for us. Every time there are new products, new features, we have exploited them, whether it's conversion to PDFs that Vivek talked about, or other cool features too. Again, we recently got a minority investment from Vista Equity Partners. Again, that shows our commitment to the product as well as the industry EHS space itself. Again, this talks about our global presence. As I said, we have 115 full-time ColdFusion developers, and we also have a 60-member IT platform hosting team. Few of them are here as well. The point with all of this is that some of you may be starting with ColdFusion new, maybe you're thinking about ColdFusion, or maybe you're a seasoned professional using ColdFusion. Our story tells that you could start really small, but ColdFusion will be there with you to scale up as you need. And we're glad that we stuck to ColdFusion. So that's again, nobody's paying me for saying this, by the way. We have, some of you may have seen this too. Why ColdFusion is a question that keeps brought up to us. Even we were dealing with our equity partners, they were like, ColdFusion, we didn't hear about ColdFusion. What's the deal with ColdFusion? Why would you use ColdFusion, right? So for us, it was really, really easy, because we don't want to hire, we do want to hire seasoned professionals, but when we had people on our team, they all come from fresh out of college with all the experience that they have with JavaScript and perhaps HTML, right? Learning ColdFusion is a piece of cake. That's what we have done. The three of us have done the same thing too. But the rest of the 100 plus 200 developers that came on board did the same thing. The onboarding experience is relatively easy, smooth, and no stress. That was the biggest advantage for us. And the fact that when people talk about templating, we talk about some of the more modern frameworks that offer templating on the front end side. But to be honest, as some of you know, that ColdFusion has been a templating engine for 25 years now. So our entire architecture is built on that. So hiring and retention, code reusability, expedited onboarding, and rapid application development. These are number four primary reasons why we stuck to ColdFusion. I know there are 100 other reasons. I don't want to belabor the point here, but we're glad that we did that. Quickly talking about the fact that as we evolved from a product that was used by maybe few hundred people to something that is today used by 3 million users across the globe, we had to need to architect it the right way. So we went back and re-architected our entire platform so that when new subscribers are onboarded, we're not rewriting the code, right? We have a single code base, single version software that is running all the time, but also provides extensive customization and configuration options. So just not to give the secret sauce here, but at the high level, we have each subscriber having the application server, and the subscriber, they have their own database, but we have the business level configuration and the business and the application, or the module specific configuration is as one layer. On top of that, we have the core module, and we have the core framework running that, and that becomes our entire Gensuite platform. Some of this is kind of intuitive, but we have learned it over the last 20 years of doing this, that probably is the best way to design your architecture when you think about scaling up. Now, In the next few minutes, I'll have my colleague Jason Bill talk about our infrastructure and hosting setup.
Thank you, Vijay. So just want to spend a couple minutes on how do we make all this happen. It's a SaaS solution. How do we put this out there for our customers? And as you can see here, everything kind of revolves around ColdFusion. I'm not going to go through everything here in our platform tech stack. I'm just going to pull out a couple key points. Microsoft SQL Server, that's our main database backend. It is something that we've been dealing with now for about 15 years, but Postgres is kind of where we're starting to move into. So Postgres is a database we've been using for a lot of our new applications, and that's kind of the direction we're going. Tableau is another big one you'll see on here. That's our analytics and reporting one. I'll talk a little bit about that here in a second. We also have a few caching engines, whether it's Redis, whether it's Memcache. We cache a lot of stuff. We have a lot of users. We have a lot of page hits. We've got to cache a lot of this stuff. ColdFusion cannot process all of these. So as far as a big part of our systems is integrations. We want to integrate, we have REST APIs, customers want to pull their data out, so we have tons of APIs for them to pull their data. The other thing we do a lot of is SSO integrations, I'm sure all of you guys do that. And then we also do a lot of HR integrations. These are things that we might do through a flat file, through SFTP, or even through a REST API. So we have lots of different options, lots of different ways for people to get into. The other big thing that we do is Tableau. We allow our customers to come in. We have standard reports that they can use, or they can create their own reports. If they have a Tableau engine and they want to create their own reports, we'll let them connect in and go ahead and put their reports out, and then we run them through our Tableau servers. So this is a big eye chart. I'll just touch on a few things. We originally, probably about 15, if I talked about this even 5 years ago, we were on a dedicated hosting platform. But we've made the move into the cloud over the recent 5 to 10 years, and have really put a lot of effort into getting AWS. So AWS is our primary dedicated hosting platform. We have 7 data centers right now that we host out of for. We have US, EU, India, Australia, and China. We have multiple ones in the US, multiple different regions. So the one part of getting into AWS was, man, it's expensive. That was the thing, how are we going to host this many customers in AWS? And what we've really found is we put out these tall application servers. So they're really tall, they have lots of memory, lots of CPU, and we'll put 15, maybe 20 customers on these application servers. We originally started these little T3, they had multiple, we probably had hundreds and hundreds of servers we were dealing with. We found that these tall application servers really work well for us. So we put them in multiple availability zones, so customers are spread across different regions. And then we do our MS SQL active passive clusters. We have a bunch of different active passive clusters all over. We put 50, 75 customers on these active passive clusters. And then the last thing is we go through the ELB and then into Cloudflare. Cloudflare is our WAF, it's our CDN. We utilize Cloudflare for a lot. It is key to making sure that a lot of this traffic is cached in the regions. Again, so we're not feeding it all out from our application servers. And then the last one I'll touch on here real quick is just a few things on just our metrics. So we pretty much, we have page hit from almost everywhere in the world. There's a few regions in Africa that we're missing, but this is just the last 30 days of just kind of page hit traffic data that we've done. 268 million page hits in the last 30 days, 250 millisecond response time, 5.4 terabytes of web traffic served. So this is data we get out of Cloudflare because everything goes through Cloudflare. 70% cache hit rate, which is huge. I mean, if we did not have that, there's no way we're getting these pages, these customers worldwide that fast. And the other big piece to our platform is emails. Customers want their emails. When I saw this, I didn't realize we sent a million emails over the last month, which is kind of crazy. But emails are a big piece of this because the customers need to be notified when things happen in our system. And then just the last thing real quick is the 99.99% uptime across all of our regions. So I'm going to let Matt here just go through a little bit on the actual CF instances and a few other things that we got.
Yeah. Thank you, Jason. These guys ate up all our time, so I'm just going to burn through this real quick. So I got the fun stats portion of the presentation. So some keys here, like 25,000 ColdFusion templates right now, 3,000 components. We currently deployed to 259 file servers, and almost 200 of those are production. And we're running just a little over 1,500 ColdFusion instances right now. And then this other statistic that I think is crazy. It's 1.34 terabytes of RAM allocated right now throughout the entire environment. So how do we manage such a large-scale deployment? GitLab CDCI pipeline is our main automation. So we can do tiered phase and regional deployments. But then we also have a home-built tool called the Managed Services Portal that allows us to regionally distribute both data aggregation, but also to execute ColdFusion. I can literally have any developer send a small code snippet out that'll run asynchronously on all 1,500 of those servers and then report back to us. Then obviously we have a lot of powerful monitoring, Fusion Reactor, Splunk, Matomo, and some other homebrewed. And then since we're talking about Fusion Reactor, I call out to Fusion Reactor and Fixinator. We have over 1,000 instances running Fusion Reactor right now. We actually even have the link to Fusion Reactor, the request coming back in the response headers, so it's easy for our developers to get to. And then Fixinator, we just recently made part of our pipeline, and it's feeding reports in Tableau for us, but then also we had a developer put together a VS Code plugin, so Fixinator will actually scan right there in VS Code, and then offer suggestions on ways to secure the code. It's pretty great. We don't really need to talk about this too much, but we're on the way to 2021 everywhere, and of course when we're done with that, we'll just move to 2023. But lastly, this is where we're going now next in our adventure here. We're going to take the entire platform and then start to move it all towards containers using these technologies that are listed here. Thank you, Adobe, and looking forward to continuing this journey with you guys.